Muhammad Umar Farooq biological video. Please make sure to subscribe, like and share. Ask the question for answer and comment about the artwork. So in this video we will talk about the excretion. That's the excretion mean the removal of waste product from our body or plant body is known as excretion, which that is unuseful material which that are present in our body or a plant which that excrete is known as excretion. That's the removal of waste product. So here is the plant. First of all, we will discuss about plant is remove the leaves in the form of yellow color is known as excretophore and water and carbon dioxide release on the case of photosynthesis that produce the basically the metabolism of carbohydrate that release the carbon dioxide and water in the form of transpiration. There's the excretophore is the high metal ion, that's the toxins which that is remove the falling of the leaf into the surface of the ground which that is the plant is here. So another is known as ebony, that is the another is central part which that is a xylem, which that is the unuseful, that is the waste xylem, for example, that are present in the pith of the wood which that is the heartwood is also known as well, that is the shown in the black color, which that is store the mineral and ions which that is the toxin, and that storage is due to the unuseful, that is the harmful material which that is reserved in the form of waste material into the plant. So that is known as old xylem in the trunk and shoot system, basically not root system and shoot system sometimes. So here is the chemical produced some plant which that is used for the killing of insect, that is also as a waste product which that is useful. So basically conifers also fall leaves which kill the other plant. So little plant, you know about that, the in basically Pakistan which that is the conifers are present with that cone like structure. So here I want to share another things which that is a microscopic analysis, the microscopic studies which that shown that the heavy metal produce yellow proceeds yellow color, but chlorophyll is also present, not loss of chlorophyll, that is due to the yellowish color. The chlorophyll, the magnesium ions are also present, so that's important thing. So here we will talk about the animal excretion. There's animal excretion in the form of amino group which that is detached after the deamination. There's a deamination means the amino acid will be used into the cell to produce amino group as a waste product which that is the filtered by the kidney, that is the normal range of amino group which that is retained into the blood. So waste metabolites water, hyposmotic salt in hyperosmotic and nitrogen waste metabolites, which that is the basically important things for using the waste, because it's the accumulation into the human body or animal body which that is lead to death. So that's important, and edema, etc. So here is the catabolism of amino acid, which that is the catabolism. First of all, we will talk about the here is the purine and pyrimidine, which that is the waste material which that is used as a waste when excess amount of the purine and pyrimidine are present into the blood. So another is the amino acid is very small quantity in the case of excretion from the kidney. And here is the xanthine, and there's the uric acid and urea, ammonia, there's the also excrete obviously. So here the lower quantity of the material is also released is known as the creatinine and trimethylamine and oxide. That is the important things which that is I want to mention. So is the amino group which that are accumulate into the bloodstream, which that is here is the basically amino group after the deamination of amino acid, that the amino acid deamination, the accumulation of nitro group which that is accumulate, and salt and water also accumulate if elevate the level of salt and water and other ways that is go into the kidney by circulation, and that's kidney filter the blood to release the basically uh, ureter to go into the bladder. So that's the here is the amino catabolism, and that's into the cell and go into the bloodstream, and that bloodstream ultimately go into the kidney to removal of waste through the bladder to urethra. That is the urea in mammal, and ammonia in basically ammonia is basically aquatic animal because too much water is required, and if in the case of birds which that is the terrestrial and low water quantity in their bodies, that the uric acid will be produced. So that the if we will talk about the mammals which that is release the urea is known as ureotelic, and if we will talk about the ammonia releasing animal is known as ammonotelic, and if we will talk about the uric acid, that is also known as ureotelic. So that is the abbreviation for the using of according to the waste material excretion. So that is important things which that I want to mention about it. So here the liver excretory organ which that is present into the all mammals and birds and fishes, and that is all aquatic animal which that is vertebrate. So that is basically the uric that's the urea are present into the liver due to the urea cycle, because urea cycle is used for the ornithine which that are present into the liver, which that ornithine attach with the carbon dioxide plus ammonia. That's ammonia is harmful, so that is conversion. Obviously that is the evolutionary adaptation which that is convert ammonia into urea, that is important, and carbon dioxide to ammonia which that is combined together and produce that element that is known as citrulline. So here is the citrulline which that contain single nitrogen, because one ammonia is attached to in the presence of carbon dioxide to produce citrulline, and that's the second ammonia will be attached, is known as the second ammonia will attached to produce arginosuccinate. That's the arginosuccinate is the 2 nitrogen. So 2 nitrogen is mean that double nitrogen which in the case of arginosuccinate, and that's arginosuccinate in the presence of some enzyme to convert arginine, and that's arginine is converted by the presence of arginase enzyme to release the urea, and again ornithine will be separate, and that's ornithine will remain in the rest stage or further processing into the cycle. So that is the true urea cycle. I hope you make sense about the these things. Here is the citrulline to convert arginosuccinate, and arginine to convert ornithine by the presence of enzyme arginase to produce urea, and that's the separation, and these things is required for the urea cycle. Next we will talk about the basic excretion in representation in animal. We will talk about the excretion in its representation in animal. So the animal is basically the first of all we will talk about the invertebrates, and next video we will talk about the vertebrates. So the invertebrate we will talk about here is the hydra is the first a multicellular organism, that is the eukaryote multicellular organism, which that is the Cnidarian family, which that is contain tentacle, which contain nematocyst. Anyway, we will talk about the area. We will talk about excretion. So the water move inside and outside, and amino etc. will on the basis of diffusion. On the basis of diffusion is basically that is the key to regulate their environmental and internal internal balance of the waste material and amino group etc. So here is the basically protonephridia is in the other hand the planaria, which that is the platyhelminthes invertebrate, which that is the multicellular, and triploblastic. Hydra is diploblastic, and planaria is the triploblastic, because the three germinal layer are present on the basis of embryo. So here the protonephridia in the form of network, that protonephridia, each protonephridia contain nephriospore for the excretion. So that's easy to understand. And here is a flame cell which contains cilia. That's flickering of cilia in the in same like structure of flame flickerings, that is the due to also known as the flame cell is that is also known as flame cell. That is here is the cilia, and there's the cilia current produce current to attract the fluid, and that fluid will be move as a waste product from nephridiopore is here. So I hope you make sense about the invertebrate excretion. So next video you should waiting for next video. I will make another video for understanding about that thing. So here is the movement of interstitial fluid into the flame cell, that is important. And next we will talk about the earthworm, which that is the triploblastic, and that animal is well circulatory system as compared to the planaria. That is the blood vessel is also present, and that is the protonephridia convert into the metanephridia, too much nephridia as compared to the protonephridia. That is the metanephridia in the form of earthworm, which that in the case of septum is present, and each bladder is function is separate. For example, one cutting of the earthworm between the length of the earthworm, that earthworm will be regenerate again because the septum is present. So that's the important function about the earthworm. If we will talk about here is the septum, so that is why if the cutting of the earthworm will regenerate, so that is known as the regeneration. Regeneration means the again regenerate the animal by the cutting. So here is the septum, and here is the nephridiopore, and here is the nephrostome, that is the here is the bladder, and one septum collect the fluid from the nephrodiostome is ciliary body, which that is the end of the ciliary body, which collect the fluid and go into the next septum, back septum, and that's back septum for the reabsorption again by the capillary surrounding, and that's bladder ultimately excrete the through the nephridiopore, which that is a waste, but the reabsorption will again go into that septum which that come from the fluid. So that is why the previous septum again reabsorb the fluid by the reabsorption through the blood vessels. So that's easy to understand about that thing. So that is mean the metanephridia mean too much nephridia are present in the same organism. So now next we will talk about the excretion in cockroach or insect. So here is the well developed Malpighian tubules, that is the surrounded by the digestive system. So their digestive system is attached with the excretory system also as well. So here is the mouth, which that is using for the cutting and crushing of the anything which that is related to the basically carbohydrate and plant, etc. So that's cutting and different things which that enter into the mouth to go into the foregut, and foregut to go into the midgut, and that's midgut is the stomach, which that is digestion, and after the digestion go into the hindgut, and that's contained the surrounded by the malpighian tubule, which that is the reabsorb absorb the fluid from the body, and there's a reabsorption is occur into the hindgut. So that is the rectum and present, which that is used for the releasing of the uric acid as a waste product and less water as compared to the other animal. So that is important, and here is the rectum and intestine, which that is contain hindgut. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share the video. Okay, bye.